What's going on YouTube and my fellow wrestling fans? I'm just going to do a little video today to discuss the been two recent podcasts with the Art of Wrestling with Colt Cabana, where he talked to CM Punk to figure out what exactly happened and why he left. And so I'm just going to give you a little bit of a Cliff Notes version of that. And I'm of course wearing my CM Punk shirt, best in the world. And joining us today is the WWE spinner belt with the CM Punk nameplate, just as an homage. Keep the whole flow going on. Alright, so first we're going to discuss why he left in CM Punk's words, and then we're going to go on to some other things. Well, he said there was several reasons why he quit, or he didn't even quit, but there's reasons why he left that last time after the Royal Rumble, and the main one he said was because of physical, because he said that he had a bunch of torn muscles and concussions and just basically just dying, just beating himself to death every day, just taking slam after slam. And he was telling me one story where he even had like a little bump on his back, and he noticed after being there for a few weeks, and he told the doc, and the doc said, "Oh, don't worry about it, it's just nothing." And then a few months later, he noticed it was getting worse, and he told the doc, and the doc still wouldn't cut it out. And then what did he do? He told the doc he wanted to get it removed, and the doc's like, "Oh no, you're about to have a match. I don't want to cut you open and then go out there." And he's like, "Doc, you put like 14 staples in my head and then made me go out and perform. This isn't a problem." But the doc still wouldn't do it. So he kept on wrestling, and then after he quit at the Royal Rumble, he went down to, I believe, Florida, where AJ Lee's doctor was. And the guy looked at him and he goes, "Okay, yep." He's like, "How long you had this?" He's like, "About 3 months." He goes, "Yeah, you should be dead right now, because he's like, it's a full-blown staph infection." And he said that he's had concussions, broken bones, all kinds of stuff. He said nothing has been as painful as when that guy was squeezing that stuff out of that disgusting staph infection, kind of like a big nasty pimple. Like, I couldn't even imagine how painful that is. That's got to be rough. And he was saying that but just other reasons he wanted to leave was like financial. I mean, he had plenty of money, but he was just getting like screwed over time and time again. He was saying one example was the WrestleMania 29, where he went against the Undertaker as one of the like 4 or 5 main events. But as he pointed out, which I agree, there's only one main event. There's not 4, there's not 3, there's not even 2. There's one main event. The other ones are just fights and matches on the card. And so he went against the Undertaker, and him and even Vince McMahon and other people agreed that the Taker and CM Punk stole the show. They had the best match at WrestleMania 29. And even with that, he made the least amount of money of the Undertaker, Triple H, The Rock, John Cena, all those other people. He made the least, even though he was there and he was in what they thought was the best match of the whole WrestleMania. And then what else was there? It was he was just basically being worked to death. And then what else was there? And then he was talking about in the second podcast that they had the Stone Cold Steve Austin asking Vince McMahon different questions on the little podcast thing. And what was it? Vince McMahon had said that like he realized that there's whole kind of legal stuff, and he didn't realize that CM Punk actually got his release papers on his actual wedding day, and he said that was an accident and didn't mean to. And CM Punk addressed that on the second podcast, which you can listen to on the Art of Wrestling. But he was saying that he called BS on that because it was overnighted on the 12th to arrive on the 13th. And so that's really rare that could happen. I mean, anything's possible, but the chances of that are very slim. So at first I did agree with Vince McMahon. I was like, oh, okay, maybe he did on accident. But after CM Punk kind of brought that to light, I kind of leaned more towards CM Punk, but you never know. But he was talking about that, and then he just gave him a bad feeling, like, oh, well, you can't do that. And then when he was saying like he wanted to apologize for that, but he said he could have done that anytime, because it was in June 13th was when he got married, and like December 1st, I believe, was when they did the Stone Cold Steve Austin Vince McMahon podcast thingy. So for almost 6 months, he never even called him up, texted him, and apologized. He had to wait till he was on the air. He could kind of save face and be like, oh, I apologize, show everyone in the WWE universe that has the network for $9.99 that that he apologized, but not Vince, CM Punk said he called BS on that because he felt like he was doing that just to kind of make him look better. Instead of just texting him and no one knowing, he decided to do it on the network and let whoever has the network see it. And I was gonna say, should he come back? I mean, as a fan, he's like one of my favorites for sure of all time. I would love to see him back, but he's done more than his fair share. He's gone over, like I said, he's done. If you listen to the podcast, I'm just giving you a brief version. If you listen to the podcast, he talks about how he just kept like having surgery after surgery and beating up, and then never getting any time off. So he's definitely paid his due. Like I said, as a fan, I'd love to see him come back, but I understand if he doesn't want to, he doesn't have to. That's up to him. He's done more than his, like I said, done more than his fair share, more than a lot of wrestlers, trying to make sure to do what's best for the audience and make sure they like it. But like I said, I would love to see him come back, but if he doesn't, I understand. Like they say he's probably got like several $1 million. I mean, he's fine. He doesn't have to come back, and he's doing the writing for Thor, which I'm sure isn't for free. I'm sure they're paying him some money because it helps give them some more publicity. Because I didn't even know Thor had a magazine until they talked about CM Punk having it. And yeah, they said so he could come back. Vince is saying he would love to see him come back, but then again, of course, Vince would love to see him come back because CM Punk's a workhorse. He goes out there, he gives 110%, and he puts it all out there and tries to please the audience and make sure they enjoy and have a great show and earn the tickets that they paid for, that they went to work and earned. And but he seemed very, very reluctant to come back. I said, everyone's like, oh, once you do that, you have to come back. Well, usually they're right, but sometimes they're wrong. Not everybody comes back. I said, but there's a good chance Vince could talk him into coming back because CM Punk's one of those kind of type A people, kind of like Stone Cold and Hulk Hogan and all those other people, and they're very driven. They're like, I want to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to be the best at it. I'm going to do whatever it takes to be at the top. They're not submissive people. They're not like a lot of the wrestlers on the card now who are just like, oh, okay, yeah, I don't want to cause any waves or mess up anything, so I'll just be on here, just under the radar. No one know I'm here. I'll just get my check. I won't reach for that gold or brass ring, as they would say. But it seems like all those people who go for the brass ring are the ones who have the balls and go out there and do the best they can to perform and be the best that they can be. That's why CM Punk always said he was the best in the world, because he believed it. And I'm sure Hulk Hogan, who also had a lot of conflicts with Mr. Man, I'm sure he thought he was the best at one time, and then Stone Cold did, and Bret Michaels, the excellent execution, blah, 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 I cannot talk. But yeah, but all those people, and Shawn Michaels, they all had that type of mentality where they go out there and whatever they do, it doesn't matter what. They could be a ditch digger, they could be a grocery bagger, whatever they're doing in life, they are going to try to achieve absolute greatness at whatever they're doing. It doesn't matter what they do. They want to do the best they can. So that's why there's always that conflict. Because Vince McMahon's like that too. He wants to do the best at his company and run it the best he can. And when you have two type A's going at each other, there's going to be an impact. There's going to be some arguments and fighting. And, you know, I want to do this. No, I want to do this. No, I want to do that. And then you have the argument. If you have one type A and then you have a submissive person, blah, 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 type A is going to trump type B all the time. And that's why you never hear about huge arguments between Vince McMahon and like Zack Ryder or somebody. Nothing to put down Zack Ryder, but he doesn't seem like one of those people who would just be like, I want to do it like this and I'm going to do the best I can. Him and, like I said, not pointing him out, just a lot, most wrestlers, he was just a name pointed out. Most wrestlers just like, alright, I'm a wrestler, cool, I'll just collect my check and go on, do my business, do the best I do that, and then as long as I stay, like I said, under radar, nobody's like points me out, I'll just keep having my job. But they'll never achieve that greatness. They'll get here, but they'll never get to here. Those are your Rocks, CM Punks, Stone Colds, Hulk Hogan's, all those people, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker. Those are the people that achieve it because they go out there and they give it all they got and they do the best that they can. But yeah, like I said, that was pretty much it. Like I said, he laid it all out there, let everybody listen to it, and It was crazy because they weren't expecting that many people to send them emails. Like Cole Cabana, the one who runs the podcast of Art of Wrestling, he put out an email like, "Oh, send out an email to blah 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 blah," and they'll try to answer your questions. They even said they're expecting like maybe 300 emails, and I waited like 2 days or 3 days to send my email because I wanted to send it perfectly and talk to him and tell him how I met him and I appreciate everything he'd done, and it wouldn't work, and I was confused. And then come to find out after the second one, they got like 10,000 emails from people, and they just blew them away. Like, it messed up their whole podcast. I couldn't even listen to the podcast on that thing anymore. Luckily, I'd seen it on the internet one night, on a work night actually. It was like, I was up for some reason at 1 a.m. I found out about that on Facebook. I watched the whole thing for 2 hours until 3 a.m. And then I woke up at 6:30 the next morning and went to work on 3.5 hours of sleep. But it was worth it, because I got my answers, a lot of my questions answered that I've been wanting to know for almost a year now, since Royal Rumble last year when CM Punk disappeared for possibly the last time. Hopefully not. Hopefully he'll be back, but there's no way of knowing for sure. But hopefully he'll be back. Yeah. Alrighty. I said, if you love CM Punk, if you hate CM Punk, I don't know. Just let me know. Like, what do you think? You think he's gonna come back? I'm gonna say, if he does not come back within the next 2 years, I don't think he's ever coming back. I know that's kind of broad, but if Vince McMahon hasn't changed his mind in the next 2 years, I don't think CM Punk is ever coming back. But you never know. Like I said, just let me know what you think. You think he's coming back? You think he isn't coming back? You think him and AJ Lee are just gonna go up to Chicago and have kids and live happily ever after? I mean, they could do it. They got plenty of money. I'm sure she's making some money too. She's a former Divas champion now. Who knows if she'll be back? Hopefully she will. She's like one of the few Divas on the roster that actually sells a fight. Like, oh look, she's actually wrestling. The rest of them, for the most part, are pretty bad. Like, I'm not a wrestler by any means. I mean, they could all kick my butt in the entertainment aspect of wrestling. But yeah, it's very shallow right now, the pool of divas. Not that the other one's very deep either as far as the men. But yeah, I'm sorry, I'm digressing. Anyway, hit me up, let me know what you think. You think he's coming back? I'm curious. I want to know what everyone else thinks. Like, subscribe, watch my other videos. I got videos about different belts, like this beauty right here. Ooh, I love that belt. Alrighty, like I said, once again, let me know what you think. I'm curious. Later, YouTube.